What is Purim to everybody?
I gotta pull this out.
Hold on. All right.
A celebration, that's one thing. What else?
A holy day.
A holy day, that's another
holy
thing.
day.
What else?
A feast day.
A feast day, that's another thing. What else?
Enjoy.
We're gonna enjoy ourselves. Enough from you. What else? What else, everybody? Day of salvation.
There you go, man. You hit it right.
That's right, the nail in the coffin. And slash day of salvation slash we get to get gifts.
Hey, I didn't want to say that for
Yeah.
I didn't want to say that.
What?
The giving gifts.
Yeah, no.
Giving gifts,
Day
and
of
also
salvation.
we laugh and joke about the giving gifts, but what else is it about?
It's about giving to the needy.
Giving to the poor.
Oh yeah. What's that?
That's why we also gotta go out.
9:20,
You got your hand up.
9:20.
You got something you need to say? There you go.
Hey, good
So
shot.
let's forth.
Not about
Thank
that.
you, Corey. Right.
Get
So
to the
it's like,
homeless.
it's not just about getting gifts. It's about giving, taking care of your neighbor. And who is your neighbor?
Your people.
Your people. Not just everybody, it's your people. So today the lesson, like I said, is gonna be on Purim. We're going into Esther chapter 1. It's 10 chapters, they're not that long. If y'all know we read it every Purim. We read the whole 10. So today we focus on seeing what happened in this particular captivity. They was in the captivity of the Persian and the Medes, and the Lord came and blessed them with salvation. So let's learn our history from our ancestors. You ready out?
Yes, sir. I'm ready. Make it outside first. We're starting at 1. We're gonna read the whole thing, bro.
Oh, the whole.
Yeah. We're gonna take turns and stuff. We're gonna break it all down so everybody can get the understanding of what was going on.
It's not that long. Yeah, we can.
And what really is like when Nanny said, the day of salvation. Going to get in detail about what you mean, day of salvation.
And truly understand.
Y'all good, guys? Y'all all right? All right.
Is it not too cold?
Y'all have Bibles back there? Y'all need a Bible? Y'all need a Bible? Pass it down. Pass it to the back. It already should be on Esther. So.
You got anyone?
Pass it back.
Yeah, y'all.
I think they got their phones.
They needed one. They said
Y'all good?
They
All
only need
right,
one.
all right. Thank you, no.
All right, that's the 1611. It's gonna look a little funny, but it's the same thing. All right. All right.
You called me, I think I was person in there.
Good morning.
All right. Let's go. You ready out?
Go ahead.
We're at Esther chapter 1, starting at verse 1. Is everybody ready? Give me a salah. All praise.
Okay, come. We're in Esther, first chapter, first verse. And on the side, if y'all want to write in y'all notes, I got a good lesson on a disobedient woman. What we finna go into right now. Yes, man. No, I'm just looking. No.
You must be guilty. We'll talk about that later.
Go ahead, sis. Yes, ma'am. She said, but she looking at me nose. Sis, I was just looking around. But yeah, y'all can write in y'all notes, lesson on a disobedient woman.
I knew you was gonna start cutting out one shot.
All
I
right.
didn't mean to get him there. I didn't know he was gonna go.
Everybody ready to
Yeah, I
start?
didn't know.
I cut him off at a certain
All
time.
right.
All right.
We're about to go ahead and get started, family.
Esther chapter 1, verse 1, lesson on a disobedient woman. You can put in your notes. And here we go. Verse 1, y'all. Now it came to pass in the days of Ahasuerus. This is Ahasuerus, which reigned from India, even unto Ethiopia, over 127 provinces. That in those days, when the king Ahasuerus sat on the throne of the king of his kingdom, which was in Shushan, the palace, in the 3rd year of his reign, he made a feast unto all his princes and his servants, the power of Persia and Media, the nobles and princes of the provinces being before him. Verse 4, when he showed the riches of his glorious kingdom and the honor of his excellent majesty many days, even 180 days. And when these days were expired, the king made a feast unto all the people that were present in Shushan, the palace, both unto great and small, 7 days, in the court of the garden of the king's palace, where were white, green, and blue hangings, fastened with cords of fine linen, well, fine linen, and purple, to silver rings and pillars of marble. The beds were of gold and silver, upon a pavement of red and blue and white and black marble. Verse 7, and they gave them drink in vessels of gold, the vessels being diverse one from another, and royal wine. Back on. Give me a second, stand by, y'all.
Is that the doorbell?
No.
Shalom, sis.
Shalom.
You got a seat right here, sis. Come on.
All right, y'all ready? All right, we're in Esther, 1st chapter, 7th verse. And they gave them drinks in vessels of gold, the vessels being diverse one from another, and royal wine in abundance, according to the state of the king. And the drinking was according to the law. None did compel, for the king had appointed to all the officers of his house that they should do according to every man's pleasure.
So I'm trying not to stop him every verse so we can get through it. But this king, he's throwing an amazing party, showing the glory, showing the riches, showing his power and his majesty. He going all out, even with the drinking. He let them drink how you want. It's not even against the law. Drink how you compel. And let's see what happens. Come on out.
All right, we're in Esther, 1st chapter, verse 9. Also, Vashti, the queen, made a feast for the women in the royal house which belonged to King Ahasuerus. On the 7th day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Mehuman, Bista, Harbona, Bictha, and Abagtha, Zethar, and Carcas, the 7 chamberlains that served in the presence of Ahasuerus, the king, to bring Vashti, the queen, before the king, with the crown royal, to show the people and the princess her beauty, for she was fair to look on.
So this man that threw this big old beautiful party went all out. Now he calling for his wife to adorn herself, put on the royal crown and everything, and come show her beauty. All right. Let's see what happens.
It don't even sound like that.
All right, Esther, 1st chapter, verse 12. But the queen Vashti refused to come at the king's commandment by his chamberlains. Therefore was the king very wroth, and his anger burned in him. Then the king said to the wise men, which knew the times, for so was the king's manner towards all that knew law and judgment. And the next unto him was Karshina, Shether, Admatha, Tarshish, Meres, Marcina, and Mumakin, the 7 princes of Persia, and Media, which saw the king's face, and which sat the first in the kingdom. What shall we do unto the queen Vashti, according to the law? Because she had not performed the commandment of the king Ahasuerus by the chamberlains.
So now they sitting down, they about to have a conversation with the king, right? Because they notice how, let's just call it what it is. She embarrassed the king. She embarrassed him. She wouldn't even come out. Now he threw this party for the whole province, the whole country, probably. Everybody was celebrating. He called upon the queen to come out, and she totally disrespected him. So now the people that sat closest to him, his council, the princes, they want to have a conversation about it. And we're starting off, what are we going to do about this? Pick it up, Bach.
All right, verse 16, y'all. And Mumakin answered before the king and the princes, Vashti, the queen, had not done wrong to the king only, but also to all the princes and to all the people that are in all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus.
So they letting the king know she didn't just disrespect you, she disrespected all of us. The whole royal family, the people, your servants. Go ahead, Doc.
All right, verse 17. For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women, so that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes when it shall be reported. The king Ahasuerus commanded Vashti, the queen, to be brought in before him, but she came not.
Right.
Still need to.
Keep going.
Oh, you gonna still break down?
Yeah, now I'm gonna pick it up.
Okay. Verse 18.
Uh-huh.
Verse 18. Likewise shall the ladies of Persia and Media say this day unto all the king's princes, which have heard of the deed of the queen. Thus shall there arise too much contempt and wrath.
Right. So because of the actions of this one woman that held this high position, they telling them, now when they hear that she done this, we gonna have problems in our house too. Right, because of little leaven or what?
What verse that is?
Chapter 5, verse 9.
Bring it out, sis.
Let me put it. She gonna say you did. Yeah, that's that's one of them. It'd probably be better if you use I think it's 1 Corinthians 5 and 6.
I think 1 Corinthians be better. Little 11.
Yeah, we're gonna Galatians 5:9 said, but we're gonna use the one that come in 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 6. And give me 6 and 7. I got it on the screen if you don't want to get it from right here.
All right.
Thank you for that precept, sis.
Yeah, that's a good precept. All right, we got 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 6, y'all, and 7. Your glorying is not good. Know ye not that a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump? Purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened. For even Christ, our Passover, is sacrificed for us.
And we know that leaven is talking about sin and also sinful ways. Because pride. That was pride made that woman do that. She thought she was what? Above her husband.
Mhm.
I ain't doing that. I don't feel like doing that. Right?
I'm the queen. He gonna love me anyway. I'm already married.
Old times are changing. Come on.
All right, we back in Esther chapter 1, verse 19. Appreciate y'all. Verse 19. Say loud me, call me whenever y'all get there. Whatever. Say loud, call. Okay, here we go. Verse 19. If it please the king, let there go a royal commandment from him, and let it be written among the laws of the Persians and the Medes, that it be not altered, that Vashti come no more before King Ahasuerus, and let the king give her royal estate unto another that is better than she.
Right. He's like, nah, this gotta be a serious punishment.
Huh.
Because not only because she didn't wrong just you, she wronged all the men. So now, man, this gotta be a serious punishment because you gotta what? You gotta make an example out of her. You gotta make her pay for that. Right? So look, she's about to lose her estate. You was the queen, high up queen. Pride destroyed her.
Over 120 properties.
127, I believe it
I
was.
mean, you know,
Yeah,
take it for you.
right.
Can't give away the receipt though. He kept the receipt.
Let's get it out.
All right, verse 20. We're in Esther chapter 1, verse 20. And when the king's decree which he shall make shall be published throughout all his empire, for it is great. All the wives shall give to their husbands honor, both to great and small. And they saying, please, and the saying pleased the king and the princes. And the king did according to the word of Memucan. For he sent letters into all the king's provinces, into every province, according to the writing thereof, and to every people after their language, that every man should bear rule in his own house, and that it should be published according to the language of every people.
Right. So he didn't make this province only for the Persians and the Medes. He did this in every language. So even the people that he had from other nations, which we know the Israelites, the Hebrews, they need to know it too. The man go bear rule in your house, not the woman. All right, let's go ahead and go to chapter 2.
And all he was doing is just not giving his strength. He just didn't give his strength up to a woman. Y'all know that scripture.
I know it's in Proverbs.
Ecclesiastes too.
Give not thy strength to a woman.
Anybody know that scripture? I can Google it if y'all want.
What is it? Proverbs. I want to say 24:16.
I don't want to get. They gonna keep getting mad.
Well, help them out. Just get it to us. You got it?
Proverbs 31:3.
You said 31 and 3.
Yeah. Proverbs 31. Excuse me, y'all. 31:3.
Judges 16:6.
Judges 16:6.
Yeah, it should be all over the Bible.
That's what I'm saying.
A man that gives strength to a woman, what do they call them nowadays?
A simp.
God, it didn't take. Y'all
Cali-
couldn't come with that scripture, but y'all
In
come with
Canada, they
that, though.
call him a mark. You a mark.
In the 90s, they called him a what? What they called him in the 90s?
A bus.
A buster.
Called him a screw.
A screw.
Oh, you talking about TLZ, huh?
What they call him? Yeah.
Proverbs 31:3, y'all.
They real disrespectful. They call it what it is.
All right, Proverbs 31:3. Give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to that which destroyed kings.
Right. So
That's not saying give not thy. Well, yes, it is.
exactly.
It's exactly what it's saying.
Nah, it's all right. Let's go. We got a lot to read. Let's go Esther 2.
I'm go 3, you go 3, I go 3, you go 3.
All right, that's fine. We're going to Esther chapter 2, everybody. Esther chapter 2, we picking up at verse 1. Salah?
All right, we're in Esther chapter 2, verse 1. After these things, when the wrath of King Ahasuerus was appeased, he remembered Vashti and what she had done and what was decreed against her. Then said the king's servants that ministered unto him, let there be fair young virgins sought for the king, and let the king appoint officers in all the provinces of his kingdom, that they may gather together all the fair young virgins unto Shushan, the palace, to the house of the women unto the custody of Hedge the king. Hedge,
the king's.
Hedge,
Yeah.
Heggy. Of Heggy, the king's chamberlain. Oh, Heggy, that's the name, my bad. Keeper of the women, and let their things for purification be given them.
Hey, I got a question. These people, that are I think they considered as the chamberlains.
Mm-hmm.
This is the people who seeking out the virgins and stuff, right?
Yeah, they the servants of the king.
Are they Israelites or are they
No.
other people?
They
Persians.
Persians and Medes.
They
I'm
Persians.
just
Yeah,
trying to
these the other nations.
We in captivity
Yeah.
right now. We in Greece captivity, right?
No,
No,
Persian.
Persian captivity.
Persian.
My bad. I'm sorry. Yeah,
In
we're
the
Persian.
Persian.
And Medes.
Like we tell you all the time, like we read all through Chronicles, right? Where they would fight, take over a couple of provinces over here, a couple of cities, right? That same thing they did. They had us in subjection to them. So we probably was in still in the land. They wasn't. They was actually under the rule of Ahasuerus. Ahasuerus.
We was tributaries at this time.
Yes, we were. All right, you ready?
Ready? Okay. All right, we're in verse 4, y'all. Esther chapter 2, verse 4. And let the maiden which pleaseth the king be queen instead of Vashti. And the thing pleased the king, and he did so. Now in Shushan, the palace, there was a certain Jew whose name was Mordecai, the son of Jair, the son of Shimei, the son of Kish, a Benjamite.
Oh, Mordecai from what tribe?
So he's an Israelite?
Yes.
All right. Verse 6, who had been carried away from Jerusalem with the captivity which had been carried away with Jeconiah, king of Judah, whom Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had carried away. And he brought up Hadassah, that is Esther, his uncle's daughter, for she had neither father nor mother, and the maid was fair and beautiful, whom Mordecai, when her father and mother were dead, took for his own daughter.
So who was Esther to Mordecai?
His daughter.
He took care of her like his.
It say that
That was his niece.
That was his first cousin.
that was his first
That
cousin.
was his cousin.
He
That was
took his uncle's daughter.
Look, his brother son, that was his uncle.
They were cousins,
That's right.
but he raised her as his daughter. Then you know there was a big difference in the age.
Yeah, she
I was
probably
telling
older.
Shannon earlier, I got a cousin, my oldest cousin. I call him uncle to the day. I've been since I was little. He be like, I'm your cousin.
Nope, I don't look at
Yeah, but I don't look at you like, 'cause we so different in age.
I got a cousin in his age.
Yeah. So
My cousin's next door all over there.
right.
My
So
first cousin. They look like my uncles.
so
You
they
would
were
think they my
they
uncles.
were first cousins, but he raised her as his daughter. Because why? She didn't have a covering, she didn't have a head, she didn't have a mother or a father.
But that's what we do.
So he
for
took-
our families
yeah, you
when,
take 'em in.
people's Parents or whatever.
Yeah.
We take them in, right?
CPS shouldn't be a choice.
Never.
You know, should never be a choice.
No, her name was Hadassah.
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 Yeah. So pick
Hold up, Mark.
okay.
Oh man, I need. All right, I'm ready.
All right, pick it up, Bob. We had a verse.
All right, we're at verse 8, y'all. We're in Esther chapter 2, verse 8. So it came to pass when the king's commandment and his decree was heard, and when many maidens were gathered together unto Shushan, the palace, to the custody of Hegai, that Esther was brought also unto the king's house, to the custody of Hegai, keeper of the women. And the maiden pleased him, and she obtained kindness of him, and he speedily gave her things for purification. with such things as belonged to her, and 7 maidens, which were meet to be given her out of the king's house. And he preferred her and her maids unto the best place of the house of the women.
So she obtained what from this guy?
Favor.
Favor. The Lord give you favor. It was something about her. She was a righteous woman. She was a child of a Benjamite.
What y'all think they mean when he say he give them their stuff for purification?
For her to clean herself and stuff. For her to, well, I'm sure in the back of his mind he thought he was gonna catch a curse. So let me go ahead and get a clean real quick, just in case, you know. But that's what I
I feel like you're right.
Right.
Because they wouldn't be around. Well, they probably, I don't know if the other nations really dealt with it.
Yeah, about the
Yeah. So it got to be just talking about like
So I guess it depends on what condition she was in when they took her from where they
Right.
took her from. You know, she could have been dirty or.
Well, nah, they wasn't going like getting the women like that right there. They was just going to pick up certain maidens, little virgins and stuff like that.
But it could have. That's all I was gonna say. It could also been. It could have been like a traditional thing for the Persians that a woman is bathed this certain way or in this certain oils or whatever. You know what I'm saying? As a purification thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because they came out of the king. They weren't just no any maidens. They came out of they was the king's maid.
Right. So they probably had a certain way he wanted them dressed up and So
excuse me, and with such things as belonged to her, and 7 maidens which were meant to be given out of the king's house.
Right.
And he preferred her maids unto the best place of the house of the women. And he made her, he said, man, take her to the best place.
Yeah, he already knew.
Yeah.
He already knew. This is who the king gonna want.
Yeah.
All right, pick it up.
All right, verse 9, y'all. We at Esther chapter 2, verse 9.
10,
y'all, verse 10. Yeah, 10. Yeah, 10, yeah. Esther had not showed her people nor her kindred, for Mordecai had charged her that she should not show it. And Mordecai walked every day before the court of the women's house to know how Esther did and what should become of her. Now, when every maid's turn was come to go into King Ahasuerus, after that she had been 12 months, according to the manner of the women, for so were the days of their purifications accomplished, to wit, 6 months with all of myrrh, and 6 months with sweet odors, and with other things for the purifying of the women.
See, this got to be something pertaining to the Persians, because we ain't gonna find that in the law, statutes, and commandments. I don't remember seeing it, and we read through that a couple of times. So this is probably more than likely a Persian tradition, something that they do for their royals. All right.
I'm still reading.
All right, I'm just scrolling up. I think we had 13. Yeah, 13.
All right, verse 13. Then thus came every maiden unto the king. Whatsoever she desired was given her, to go with her out of the house of the women unto the king's house. In the evening she went, and on the morrow she returned into the second house of the women, to the custody of Shashgaz, the king's chamberlain, which kept the concubines. She came in unto the king no more, except the king delighted in her, and that she were called by name. Now when the turn of Esther, the daughter of Abiel, the uncle of Mordecai, the uncle of Mordecai, who had taken her for his daughter, was come to go in unto the king, she required nothing but what Haggai, the king's chamberlain, the keeper of the women, appointed. And Esther obtained favor in the sight of all them that looked upon her. So she had, y'all understand what happened? Women, y'all understand what just happened with Esther when she went up in there? When she was about to go and enter into the king's chamber? She did something that all the other women didn't do. You got it? She didn't ask for nothing. She didn't ask for nothing. That's right.
She didn't require anything. She didn't have no special demands.
So you could tell that she had confidence in herself. She knew she was beautiful already. I don't need y'all stuff. I know I'm finna go up in there. She had the confidence like I'm already beautiful. What? Did old girl losing her hair right there? She need it. I don't need it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. That's why I'm trying to touch on.
Right. Natural beauty.
Natural beauty is what I'm saying.
She had already had her stuff already. She
Yeah.
by herself with.
You know it.
All right, y'all ready?
So
All right, we in second Esther chapter 2, verse 16. So Esther was taken unto King Ahasuerus into his house royal in the 10th month, which is the month Tebeth, in the 7th year of his reign. And the king loved Esther above all the women, and she obtained grace and favor in his sight, more than all the virgins, so that he set the royal crown upon her head and made her queen instead of Vashti. Then the king made a great feast unto all his princes and his servants, even Esther's feast. And he made a release to the provinces and gave gifts according to the state of the king. And when the virgins were gathered together the second time, then Mordecai sat in the king's gate. Esther had not yet showed her kindred, nor her people, as Mordecai had charged her. For Esther did the commandment of Mordecai, like as when she was brought up with him. In those days, while Mordecai sat in the king's gate, two of the king's chamberlains, Bigthan and Teresh, of those which kept the door, were wroth and sought to lay hand on the king of Ahasuerus. And the thing was known to Mordecai, who told it unto Esther the queen. And Esther certified the king thereof in Mordecai's name. So y'all understand what's happening?
do y'all see what's going down?
So
No.
What's going down?
nah, the two men closest to the king, they wanted to hurt him.
And
Mordecai heard it, so he passed the information on to Esther to warn the king. To do what? Gain trust, favor, let him know he can trust her.
And what did Esther do?
Listen.
She listened, yeah, but what else did she do? She saved her cousin. In order to put favor in the king's eyes with him, she said, Mordecai told me this.
Yeah, he said,
A certain person told me this. He told me that they're gonna kill you and stuff. So that put grace and mercy up in the eyes of the king to Mordecai too. You know, you understand what I'm saying?
Got him favor also.
Yeah, he got him favor.
Now the king know that he could trust Mordecai with his life.
You know, it kind of makes me think about when Abraham was using Sarah, you know, with her beauty and stuff. I know I can get these things and stuff because he said that she listened to him as she did when she was young. You know, so who's to say I'm sure she always been beautiful.
Sure.
So he probably used that to his advantage to get the things he needed.
Yeah, that's for real. All right, we still in Esther chapter 2, verse 23. And when the inquisition was made of the matter, it was found out. Therefore, they both hanged on a tree. And it was written in the book of the Chronicles before the king.
Okay. We're going to chapter 3. Chapter 3, family. Whenever you're ready.
All right, y'all ready? We Esther chapter 3, verse 1. Verse 1. After these things did King Ahasuerus promote Haman, the son of Ammedatha, the Agagite, and advanced him, and set his seat above all the princes that were with him, and all the king's servants. that were in the king's gate bowed and reverenced Haman, for the king had so commanded concerning him. But Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence.
So the king had made a commandment that everybody should bow to Haman, similar to the commandment that Nebuchadnezzar made. Remember when he made the statue, and then at a certain day, whenever the trumpet would blow, he wanted them to what? Bow down and worship that statue. So Mordecai wasn't about to bow to no statue, and he wasn't about to bow to no man. So pick it up out.
All right, verse 3. Esther chapter 3, verse 3. Then the king's servants, which were in the king's gate, said unto Mordecai, why transgresseth thou the king's commandment? Now it came to pass, when they spake daily unto him, and he hearkened not unto them.
I think it's in the soul. I gotta get it out.
Start back over,
Yeah.
All right, we're in chapter 3, verse 4. Now it came to pass, when they spake daily unto him, and he hearkened not unto them, that they told Haman to see whether Mordecai his matters would stand. For he had told them that he was a Jew.
Right. So now they inquiring, why you don't do what the king say? Same tactics. They want to point a finger at him. Come on.
All right, chapter 3, verse 5. And when Haman saw that Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence, then was Haman full of wrath. And he thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone, for they had showed him the people of Mordecai. Wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews that were throughout the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus, even the people of Mordecai.
Indeed, the people of Mordecai. So since because Mordecai wouldn't bow to him, he wanted to kill all our ancestors that was in that province. All right. Go ahead.
All right. Excuse me. Verse 7, chapter 3, verse 7, Esther. In the first month, that is the month of Nisan, or Abib, huh?
For us, it's a bill.
For us, it's a Abib.
Nisan for them.
In the 12th year of King Ahasuerus, they cast pur, that is, the lot, before Haman, from day to day, and from month to month, to the 12th month, that is, the month Adar. And Haman said unto King Ahasuerus, there is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people in all the provinces of thy kingdom, and their laws are diverse from all people. Excuse me. Neither keep they the king's laws. Therefore, it is not for the king's profit to suffer them.
So we shouldn't deal with them. See, they don't live like we live. Of course. These people were still keeping the what? Law, statute, and commandments. They weren't just walking around still being heathens, even though they were under the captivity of the Persians. They would still keep trying their best to keep their law, statute, and commandments. Right? Whenever you're ready. There's always somebody want to come and hate. Always.
They do that till this day on the job. I mean, it's your jobs and stuff. Them white folk go behind your back and try to snitch on you and stuff, and I don't even. Man.
Yeah, it happened. It was our people though.
Mm-hmm.
And he go and tell he wasn't the man, he wasn't the owner of my job. It was the big boss. Go tell the big boss. Yeah, he be off on Saturdays. My boss was like, yeah, but he keep the Sabbath. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He gonna say, oh yeah, I keep the Sabbath too. You don't even know, you know nothing about. And the boss just looked at him like, man, come on, man. You go work on Saturday. You know what I'm saying? But that's how they decide to be. That's how it starts. You do so, I want to do that. But you don't want to keep no law, statute, and commandments. You just want benefits from it.
Yeah, that's all he want.
You know what I'm saying? Nah.
All right, y'all ready? We're in Esther chapter 3, verse 9. If it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed, and I will pay 10,000 talents of silver to the hands of those that have the charge of the business. to bring it into the king's treasure. And the king took his ring from his hand and gave it unto Haman, the son of Ammedatha, the Agagite, the Jews' enemy.
Right, because back in the day, when you wanted to get something decreed, you would have to write it up, and then you have to put the warm wax on it, and you use the king's ring to put the king's seal in it. And once the king's seal in it, you know it became law. Okay. Remember, who else got the king's ring?
Taiwan.
Who?
Was it Taiwan? Who got?
No,
Who got
it was a man. Didn't Joseph get the king?
he showed
Joseph?
He got favor too.
Because he became number 2.
He was over everything but the king.
Yeah, so he got that. Whatever it was, I think it was pretty sure it was a ring.
Moses too, didn't
Man, nah,
Nah,
Moses
Moses
didn't.
didn't get it.
No,
No,
he?
Joseph. Joseph got it.
So what was it that she had from
Oh yeah, Moses.
Yeah, it was
she
Moses.
had his staff or
She had his staff.
That was
and
Judah.
but that was but
what
she
did
had
again?
she
He
had
kept
his staff and a
his,
coat.
and his one of his cloaks or something like
Yeah,
that.
I think it was a cloak.
Yeah,
Like his staff and his cloak, I believe it was.
like a cloak, like a little jacket, like thing. Yeah.
But she had it. She kept that staff though.
So you want it back?
Yeah.
You want to give me what you said?
Right.
All right. Esther chapter 3, verse 11.
And just notice, he willing to pay all his money just to get a law passed that he could kill the Israelites. Just pay attention.
They pay attention to what happened.
Yeah, come on out.
All right, verse 11. And the king said unto Haman, the silver is given to thee, the people also, to do with them as it seemeth good to thee. Then were the king's scribes called on the 13th day of the first month, and there was written, according to all that Haman had commanded, unto the king's lieutenants. And to the governors that were over every province, and to the rulers of every people of every province, according to the writing thereof, and to every people after their language, in the name of King Ahasuerus was it written, and sealed with the king's ring. And the letters were sent by post into all the king's provinces to destroy, to kill, and to cause to perish all Jews, both young and old, little children and women, in one day, even upon the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month Adar, and to take the spoil of them for prey.
Kill everybody. It will kill all the Israelites, even our children. This was their law was for. Everybody. Paid 10,000 talents of silver. All right.
Verse 14. You want me to keep on?
No, sir,
Verse 14. The copy of the writing for a commandment to be given in every province was published unto all people that they should be ready against that day. The post went out, being hastened by the king's commandment, and the decree was given in Shushan, the palace. And the king and Haman sat down to drink, but the city Shushan was perplexed.
Yeah, they perplexed because they trying to figure out why out of nowhere we want to kill all these certain people in the king's province. It doesn't make any sense. It's confusion. Right. Everybody understand so far? We ain't lost nobody. Everybody keeping up.
Let's see what happened right here.
Let's get it. You got it on breakdown, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna break down. You got to read now.
I got it. Wait, niggas get jump.
Why you don't get you want to do this Bible right here?
Oh no, I can read.
So you can push up and stuff and you can read out of that.
Hmm.
And you can still put your screen up and you gotta be stopping. So give my Bible back.
Yeah, you get the Bible out of here, man. I got it though, and I'm doing it like that because I read it in the Bible. I'm gonna forget to move it up,
Okay.
and I'm sharing the screen for everybody. That's why. It's all right, Doc. I appreciate you. Everybody ready? We're moving on to chapter 4. All praises. Everybody ready? Need at least 2 or 3 more lives.
Come.
Way too many. Let's go ahead. Come on, family. Esther chapter 4, verse 1. When Mordecai perceived all that was done, Mordecai rent his clothes and put on sackcloth with ashes and went out into the midst of the city and cried with a loud and bitter cry. And it came even before the king's gate, for none might enter into the king's gate cloth with sackcloth. And in every province, whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, there was a great mourning among the Jews, and fasting, and weeping, and wailing, and many lay in sackcloth and ashes.
Okay. So y'all understand what's going on. It's getting passed through. The word getting passed through now. And all of us mourning, fasting, that's what we always should do. Raise our hands to heaven. We need the Father to come protect us. Because in these times, they coming to get us. And what do he always do?
We come.
All right, let's keep going.
Yes,
Like
sir.
what we doing right now, we fasting and praying and we calling on them right now.
They get off the ground, baby.
I think the ashes, whenever you burn them, whenever you burn
Burning
something,
stuff and ground, they put dirt.
maybe even from burnt offerings or whatever, the ashes from the burnt offering. They put it on them as a sign of mourning, as a sign of putting.
I don't know for sure, but I think they cooked like with the old stuff back then. So they probably always had ashes from when they burned the fire or something like
They
that.
use wood and
Yeah, wood and stuff like that to crank up oven or whatever. And they just take that and just, take that and just rub
you just
on
know
stuff.
that they use the ashes, wherever they can get the ashes from, because it was to make them look lowly. You know, the sacrifice, that they humble themselves as low as they could possibly can do. All right, you ready out?
Yeah, it's on you out.
Yes, sir.
Verse 4.
Verse 4. We are in Esther chapter 4, verse 4. So Esther's maids and her chamberlains came and told it her. Then was the queen exceedingly grieved, and she sent raiment to clothe Mordecai and to take away the sackcloth from him, but he received it not. Then,
so she was trying to pamper her cousin. Like, don't be sad. And she tried to send us some clothes. But you know, us men, man, I'm not even worried about that right now. Now they trying to kill us. We got to get this right. I don't want no clothes. Get that away from me. You know.
Ready out?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
We're at verse 5. So then called Esther for Hatop, one of the king's chamberlains, whom he had appointed to attend upon her, and gave him a commandment to Mordecai to know what it was and why it was. So Hatop went forth to Mordecai into the street of the city, which was before the king's gate. We are at verse 7. And Mordecai told him of all that had happened unto him, and of the sum of the money that Haman had promised to pay to the king's treasuries for the Jews to destroy them.
So now she mad. She like, well, why would he do that? She not mad. She disappointed. Her feelings hurt. Why would he send the clothes away? We always loved each other. So she sent a messenger over there to him to get some more information. And Mordecai spilled the beans. Hey, man, look, we got a $10,000 bounty on all our heads. They killing us for 10,000 silver. You know, I can't be happy right now. I can't take no clothes. And send that back to her as a message.
Right. Ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
We are at verse 8. Esther chapter 4, verse 8. Let's get it. Also, he gave him the copy of the writing of the decree that was given at Shushan to destroy them, to shew it unto Esther, and to declare it unto her, and to charge her that she should go in unto the king to make supplication unto him, and to make request before him and for her people.
Say, look here, take this, do what you got to do. You need to go up in there and talk to your husband. You got to do this for us, the nation. Are we gonna all be dead and you're gonna be sitting up in there looking good and stuff like that? Basically what he's telling her.
No, he gave her permission to let it be known that she is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he done it yet.
Well, this is what they're talking about.
Yeah, but he told her don't let it be known to her own people yet.
Right.
Yeah, but now he telling her to still go up in there and tell it to the king. Yeah. So that's what's going on right now. Yeah. So she ain't gave herself up to people yet.
No, that's not
But she okay, my bad, baby.
All right. You ready to keep going?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, we are at Esther chapter 4, verse 9. And Hatak came and told Esther the words of Mordecai.
Mhm.
Again, Esther spake unto Hatak and gave him commandment unto Mordecai. Verse 11. And all the king's servants and the people of the king's provinces do know that whosoever, whether man or woman, shall come into the king into the inner court, who is not called, there is one law of him to there is one law of his to put him to death, except to such whom the king shall hold out the golden scepter, that he may live. But I have not been called to come into the king these 30 days.
So what's going on right now? The king go and meditate or whatever. He going to his chambers to meditate. Nobody's supposed to be disturbing him at this time. You disturb him, you ask for death. Basically what he's saying. Unless he hold out this golden scepter and say, let him in or whatever. Or, open sesame.
Don't kill him.
Yeah, don't kill him or something like that, So that's all he's saying right there. And she's pondering if she should do it. I don't want to go up in there and disturb him. I'm gonna die, Keep going on.
Well, yeah, because at the end of the verse 11, it say that she said that she's not supposed to talk to him for 30 days. 30 days. So she like, I don't want to go up in here and get killed. All right. Verse 12. And they told to Mordecai Esther's words. We're picking up at verse 12, everybody. And they told to Mordecai Esther's words. Then Mordecai commanded to answer Esther, think not with thyself that thou shalt escape the king's house more than all the Jews.
So don't be thinking that you just gonna let all of us die and then you're gonna be sitting comfortably up in this house by yourself. Nah, because what's gonna happen? Eventually the people that's killing all your other people, they gonna say, hey, she's a Jew too up in there. You got to get rid of her and kill her too. You see, they just got him to get rid of his ex-wife. So they'll put a decree up against this Jew too that he got sitting by his side, looking all beautiful and stuff. Like make me picture Django, the movie Django, when she was just sitting there with that little cup and stuff with the white man and stuff, like she just better than yeah. That's what that sound like, Keep going up.
Yes, sir. Verse 14. Esther chapter 4, verse 14. For if thou altogether holdest thy peace at this time, then shall their enlargement and deliverance arise to the Jews from another place. But thou and thy father's house shall be destroyed.
So you can hold your peace. Yeah, we're gonna be delivered later. But it ain't the Lord gonna always deliver his people, is what he's telling them. So we ain't gonna worry about you. You know what I'm saying? But just know, if you don't do this right now, then your whole house gonna get destroyed anyway. You know what I'm saying? And I'm putting that curse upon you, basically. Not really putting a curse upon it, but he's just letting her know what the Lord gonna do. Basically, yeah.
And to end 14. And who know it, whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this.
Yeah.
Right? So he just pretty much saying, maybe the Lord put you in this particular position
for this.
Everything
happened for a reason. Don't we always say that?
Yes, sir.
Every time something, it ain't no coincidence. Man, this ain't no coincidence. Nah, it's not. You getting put there for a certain reason. You probably need to get a learning experience, or you giving an experience to somebody else to learn, or a blessing to them or something like that. You never know. But he using you or he using them, and y'all gonna work it out. Y'all gonna come together eventually. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Verse 15. Esther chapter 4, verse 15. Then Esther bade them, return Mordecai this answer. Go, gather together all the Jews that are present in Shushan, and fast ye for me, and neither eat nor drink 3 days, night or day. And I also and my maidens will fast likewise. So will I go into excuse me, Salaki. And so will I go in unto the king, which is not according to the law. And if I perish, I perish.
So basically, she did like what David and all the other prophets always did before they went into anything. Now we could say she not going into battle, but with a woman, this is a battle.
Yeah.
So she prayed and she said, hey, y'all pray for me first before I go into this battle. You know, she did everything that all the battlemen did. Hey, God, be with me in this time. And she said, while y'all praying, me and my maid is going to pray also. So we'll have a double portion of grace or whatever, you know, and then we're going to go in. And what happened to me, happened to me. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Finish it out, fine.
Yes, sir.
Verse 17.
Verse 17. So Mordecai went his way
Mhm.
and did according to all that Esther had commanded him.
And that's what it is.
All right. Ready for next chapter?
Yeah, let's go.
We are moving on to Esther chapter 5. Okay. And remember, we did them lessons. They up on the YouTube channel about the power of fasting and praying. It's very important. It's very important. Fasting and praying is very, very important.
While we still getting there, y'all understand why we said that could have been a perfect title for your notes. Day of salvation. Purim basically means a day of salvation. That's what Purim is. We being saved from our oppressors at this time.
The Persian oppressors. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Everybody ready? All praises. Esther chapter 5, starting at verse 1. Now it came to pass on the third day that Esther put on her royal apparel and stood in the inner court of the king's house, over against the king's house. And the king sat upon his royal throne in the royal house, over against the gate of the house. And it was so, when the king saw Esther, the queen, standing in the court, that she attained favor in his sight.
So look what she just did, y'all. She just went and decked herself out.
Yeah,
You already know what man going. That's just what it is. Women know what they do. Especially our women in Israel. Daughters of Sarah, she went and decked herself out. Went stood there. She didn't even have to say nothing. She just stood there. And once he looked up on her, he was like, hey, girl, where you been? You know what I'm saying? Hey, come here, girl. Come talk to me, man. What? Forget the 30 days. You come talk to me right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what most men gonna do for their wife.
Straight up. Hey, baby.
Right.
Hey, I'm the king. I ain't got to worry about no 30 days. Come on up in here. You know what I'm saying? Keep going out.
Yes, sir. We're picking it up about midways of verse 2. And the king held out to Esther the golden scepter that was in his hand. So Esther drew near and touched the top of the scepter. Verse 3. Then said the king unto her, what wilt thou, Queen Esther? And what is thy request? It shall be even given thee to the half of the kingdom.
So she was looking so good. Man, I'll give you half the kingdom you asked for. This is how good she was looking. So she put on the show. Probably had the walk going down and everything, you know. Once I put them little heels on, you know how it go.
It wasn't just beauty either. Because he know that from the woman he had to this woman.
She had modesty.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Submission.
He loved this woman.
Mm-hmm.
You get off that rooftop and get with a good woman, you go love that woman. You know what I'm saying? And the king was definitely on that rooftop. You ready out?
Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 4. Thank you, Out. I appreciate you.
King's gonna give her half the kingdom, boy.
Half the kingdom. Verse 4. And Esther answered, if it seem good unto the king, let the king and Haman come this day into the banquet that I have prepared for him.
Y'all see the mind game she played on him, though? Yep. Excuse me. You see how she came? You see the question she said, the statement she made when she first started talking.
She told him.
She say, if it pleases the king. Oh, she got him right there. The king, he like, oh yeah, I'll run this. She already had it right there after she said that, and she just went in with it. Like, oh yeah,
right.
Yeah. She stroked his ego first, and then went in. You know what I'm saying?
She told him in the question form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Then the king said, cause Haman to make haste, that he may do as Esther had said. So the king and Haman came to the banquet that Esther had prepared. And the king said it to, and we at verse 6. And the king said unto Esther at the banquet of wine, what is thy petition? and it shall be granted thee. And what is thy request, even to the half of the kingdom, it shall be performed.
He get married too. He finna give him a crown. He gonna tell her, I don't even want to be king no more. You just be the queen. He drinking and stuff. She still get it in, keep going. I'm just throwing some.
Verse 7. Then answered Esther and said, my petition and my request is, if I have found favor in the sight of the king, and if it please the king to grant my petition and to perform my request, let the king and Haman come to the banquet that I shall prepare for them, and I will do tomorrow as the king has said.
Oh, she cold. Y'all hear this? What's going on? And then she buttered them up after she stroked their ego, both of them. Now she's stroking Hammond's ego. She's stroking their ego, and then she butter them up. Man, matter of fact, I'm gonna throw y'all a party tomorrow, and y'all come and do, everything like that. The king sitting there like, man, you see my wife? I told you she was cold. You know what I'm saying? That's what he telling his partners. Man, I told you she was the one. You know what I'm saying? And she looking good. Keep it going now.
Verse 9. Then when Haman fought that day, joyful and with a glad heart.
Bring that back, Ak. What I say she just did? She stroked his ego so much that he did what?
Then when Haman fought that day, joyful and with a glad heart.
This ain't even her man, now. This is a servant. He under her right now at this time. He's so happy he want to do everything for her too. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man. Go ahead, Ak.
But when Haman saw Mordecai in the king's gate, that he stood not up nor moved for him, he was full of indignation against Mordecai. Right.
Everybody know what indignation means, right? I got that.
Excellent.
Which one?
Cassie.
Cassie, what indignation mean?
Take a guess.
Google it.
Indignation. Y'all help out. Take it just.
That's all it is.
Wrath and anger. Hate. Yeah. Right. He was full of indignation against Mordecai. You ready to go keep going to 10?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yes, sir. Verse 10.
Cut it out.
Nevertheless, Haman refrained himself, and when he came home, he sent and called for his friends and Zeresh, his wife. And Haman told them of the glory of his riches and the multitude of his children and all things wherein the king had promoted him and how he had advanced him above the princes and servants of the king.
So he boasting on himself right now. He had to go home and tell his wife and all his friends and stuff, hey man, look, I got a promotion, I got a raise. I'm making $50 an hour right now. Basically, you could say. You know what I'm saying? He boasting. You just don't know this finna get all switched around. Keep going, huh?
Verse 12. And Haman said, moreover, yeah, Esther the queen did let no man come in with the king into the banquet that she had prepared, but myself, and tomorrow am I invited into her also with the king.
He don't know this is set up. but he joyful right now. He going in, telling his family of his death right now.
What is he doing? What's it called?
Boasting
and bragging. Yeah, she made a banquet for the king. Only I get to go.
And I get to go.
I'm in there. Y'all not invitations.
You my best friend, but you can't go. I can go, so I must be better than you. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what he's saying.
He's boasting.
Yeah, right. Go ahead, Al.
Yes, sir. Verse 13. Yet all this availeth me nothing, so long as I see Mordecai, the Jew, sitting at the king's gate.
So all this that I got, I'm on top of you, I'm on top of you, I'm on top of you, I'm on top of you. They still got this doggone Jew that don't want to do nothing that I say. He don't even stand up and stuff. I gotta kill him.
And the last time they say he didn't even move out the way.
He didn't move out my way, and I got ranked up. I got a raise. You know what I'm saying? And he still kept his foot in the middle of the aisle while I was walking by.
No respect.
I gotta kill him. 14, huh?
Yes, sir. Verse 14. Then said Zeresh, his wife, and all his friends unto him, let a gallows be made 50 cubits high, and tomorrow speak thou unto the king that Mordecai may be hanged thereon. and then go down in merrily with the king into the banquet. And the thing pleased Haman, and he caused this gallows to be made.
I don't know
And
what gallows is.
Gallows.
Gallows.
It's a gallows.
Gallows.
A
Okay,
hanging
yeah.
gallows. A gallows. Let's
So
look.
his partners that got his head, and y'all never know. Y'all remember how Ahab got switched up and stuff back in the last thing, you know what I'm saying? He probably ain't talking about it. But one of those spirits probably on him, the same ones that was on Ahab back in the day, and made him go against one of God's people and stuff like that. You know, y'all remember about the spirit that got up on Ahab? How they congregated up in heaven and stuff, and he said, I'm gonna be a lion spirit and make him go to war. This is probably the same. Got on the mouth of his prophets.
The lion spirit jumped on each one of those 400 prophets.
Correct.
And told them to go to war when he wasn't supposed to.
And this probably the same thing went on with this man right here. And he jumped in on his friends and his wife and everybody. They like, oh yeah, you need to do this and do that. He can't be that. He ain't better than you. He a Jew. You a Persian. You know what I'm saying? It's your kingdom and stuff. So you gonna get his butt killed over there.
This is a gallows. Back in the day, they would hang you from it. Yeah, I should know it from the times of the Romans, right?
Oh, the cowboy in India.
The cowboy. Well, yeah, they did. You're right. Like the old Wild Wild West.
Wild West. Hanging.
From the January 6th insurrection. They built one for Pence
They built the gallows for him?
at the Capitol.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Wow.
Right. So this particular gallows, 50 cubits high.
Heavy, huh?
Yeah. All right. We're going on to chapter 6.
We'll do 2 and 2 after this.
I'm with
2
you.
and 2, yeah.
You got it. All right. Esther chapter 6. Everybody with us so far? We didn't lose nobody. Just check and make sure.
Go ahead.
All right. Chapter 6. We at verse 1, family. Verse 1. On that night, could I'm gonna start over again. On that night, could
Call
not
out the chapter and stuff one more time.
Yes, sir. Esther chapter 6, verse 1. Esther chapter 6, verse 1. On that night could not the king sleep, and he commanded to bring the book of records of the chronicles, and they were read before the king. And it was found written that Mordecai had told of Bigthana and Teresh, 2 of the king's chamberlains, the keepers of the door, who sought to lay hand on the king Ahasuerus. And the king said, what honor and dignity had been done to Mordecai for this?
So he's saying he done went back and he's starting to look at old records and stuff, y'all. And in his records he finds that Mordecai helped him out, so he didn't die. So now he's saying, say, man, what blessing did he get from it? What payment did he get from it? He saved my life, man, and he just sitting back on the side.
No, he's not just finding out. He's sitting back and he looking back. They reading the records back to him, and they brought it back to his remembrance. Because remember, Esther told him it was Mordecai.
Right.
Yeah.
But like I say, he like this man saved my life. How did I bless him?
Yeah, man. What
did I do?
Back in the day, you would have got the man's daughter.
Back in the day, he'd have probably went up, pushed him up. He'd have been made him a chamberlain, top chamberlain or something.
Right,
Yeah.
right. He would have been in the king's home.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I said he'd been over her man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Keep going. Huh?
Yes, sir. And we still in verse 3. I'll go ahead and start it over. And the king said, what honor and dignity had been done to Mordecai for this? Then said the king's servants that ministered to him, there is nothing done for him.
You ain't do nothing for him yet, king. Keep going. Huh?
Yes. And the king, verse 4, and the king said, who is in the court? Now Haman was come into the outward court of the king's house to speak unto the king to hang Mordecai on the gallows that he had prepared for him.
Now y'all see what I'm saying? So this had to be one of them kind of spirits that was on him. Because why you coming, they done told you to go and build a gallows to hang this man. Now, before you can even get to this man that morning, to the king done already start going through some records that he had back from the day. And now he say, man, I got to bless Mordecai. So now you finna come up in there and say, hey, man, we got to hang Mordecai. The king gonna look at you like, what you mean? This dude saved my life off with your head. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to save Mordecai from you now. Boom. Keep going out.
Hold on, I wanted to point out something. Remember, when Haman came, he said it'd be a certain man. He didn't tell the king it was Mordecai. He just told him about this certain type of person. But he didn't know that he was talking about Mordecai the whole time. Right? You ready for me to continue out?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
I'm fixing.
We at verse 5.
I can't do it, baby. You have to do it.
And the king's servant said unto him, behold, Haman standeth in the court. And the king said, let him come in. So Haman came in, and the king said unto him, what shall be done unto what shall be done unto the man whom the king delighted to honor? Now Haman thought in his heart, to whom would the king delight to do honor more than to myself?
So he's so puffed up, y'all, on himself. He all puffed up right now, man. You know, he puffed up on himself. The king talked about delighting another man. He in his head like, what other man should you delight but me? You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with you? I'm Haman. You know what I'm saying? You don't know who Haman is? Haman don't like things like that. I ain't speaking in the third person to the king and stuff like that. That's how people do that, think highly of themselves. Hey, Haman don't like that. Haman ain't gonna do that. Yeah. You know, right. Keep going out.
Yes. We have verse 7. And Haman answered the king, for the man whom the king delighted to honor. For the man whom the king delighted to honor, Salakia. Let the royal apparel be brought, which the king used to wear, and the horse that king rideth upon, and the crown royal which is set upon his head. Verse 9. And let this apparel and horse be delivered to the hand of one of the king's most noble princes, that they may array the man with all whom the king delighted to honor, and bring him on horseback through the street of the city, and proclaim before him, thus shall it be done to the man whom the king delighted in honor.
Now you know he mad now. I bet he fears, he probably shaking and trembling. He's so mad because
but you don't even know it's Mordecai.
He don't know it's Mordecai one, but it ain't him too. You know what I'm saying? I've been talking to my family about this all night, and you finna walk somebody else through the street. Now I'm gonna look like a liar. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna look like I've been talking to all of you and just selling y'all a dream and stuff like that, right? Go ahead,
All right.
Yeah, no, okay. Go ahead,
Where we at, verse 10?
Mm-hmm.
Verse 10. Then the king said, sorry, yeah, you're getting funny. Then the king said to Haman, make haste and take the apparel and the horse, as thou hast said, and do even so to Mordecai, the Jew.
I bet you his head did like this when he said that. What? To who?
Mordecai, the Jew.
Hold on, King. Hold on. You mean the Jew Mordecai?
The one that
Mordecai, the Jew.
Man, he probably, man, y'all, he big. Go ahead,
You know Mordecai, the Jew that sitteth at the king's gate?
Yeah.
Let nothing fail of all that thou hast spoken. Because the one thing you got to recognize, the king asked Mordecai what should be done. All this stuff, it came from, he asked Haman what should be done. The things that he said about the apparel of the horse and all that, Haman said it.
He wanted to be done like that. Yeah.
But then he gave it to Mordecai.
Yeah.
See?
Go ahead.
You know the Lord, like we always talk about in Egypt, and we read another story about the king Solomon's son, that when they gave him when he was talking to the older men and the younger men, he didn't have a choice to make. Just like the Pharaoh of Egypt, the Lord made him hearken his heart a certain way, right? He don't have a chance. He hearkened the king's heart unto Mordecai, and he is what it is, right? So, verse 11. Then took Haman the apparel and the horse, and arrayed Mordecai and brought him on horseback through the street of the city.
Man, I picture that here. You gotta go get it. He probably walked up to him, hey man, here, man.
And proclaimed before
Keep
him.
going and say before, man, I didn't mean to do it, man. Here, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, and proclaimed before him, thus said be done unto the man whom the king delighted to honor. And Mordecai came again to the king's gate, but Haman hasted to his house, mourning and having his head covered.
So all this you talking, now you got to run back to your family who you done just boasted yourself about, crying with snot all in your nose and everything. Sad face.
Shame face.
Shame face. A failure to them. Go ahead, Ar.
Yes, sir. 13. And Haman told Zeresh his wife and all his friends everything that had befallen him. Then said his wise men and Zeresh his wife unto him, if Mordecai be the seed of the Jews before whom thou hast begun to fall, thou shalt not prevail against him, but shall surely fall before him. And while they were yet talking with him, came the king's chamberlain and hastened to bring Haman unto the banquet that Esther had prepared.
Whoa.
This is a bad day. It's a bad day.
Everything he talking about is coming falling up on the right at this time.
Befalling him.
Huh?
All right, on to chapter 7, family.
Want me to start these two or you gonna keep going? Go ahead, Ar.
Let me get it. I get the two.
You
You
gonna
get the
get
last two.
you want me to get the last two?
I get these two.
All right.
Yeah, I got it. It's been a while since I read. So
Yeah, you sure right.
let me
Yeah, do
stretch.
something. Ar. Tell him, Ar.
Yeah, appreciate you. All right. That's why we talking about. See, man need motivation. You understand?
Straight
I love
up,
y'all,
bro.
man.
Straight up.
All right, we at chapter 7. Everybody understand what's going on? We haven't lost nobody. You got it? All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to take care of you later on. Go back to the beginning. Esther chapter 7, here we go. Verse 1. So the king and Haman came to the banquet with Esther the queen. And the king said again unto Esther on the second day at the banquet of wine, what is thy petition, Queen Esther? And it shall be granted thee. And what is thy request? And it shall be performed. Even to half of the kingdom. He ain't going out. He ain't
Whatever you
backing off.
want. Yeah, whatever you want. Even half of the kingdom.
Right.
Let's go.
Indeed, yeah.
Indeed, half of the kingdom.
Verse 3. Then Esther the queen answered and said, if I have found favor in the sight of king, and if it please the king, let my life be given me at my petition, and my people at my request.
See, she snuck in that last little part on him.
And my people at my request.
See, he don't even know she Israelite. She is
Haman
Jew.
don't know.
He don't know that yet.
Haman don't even know.
Yeah, so she snuck that in. Keep going, Ar.
Yes, sir. Verse 4. For we are sold, I and my people, to be destroyed, to be slain, and to perish. But if we had been sold for bondmen and bondwomen, I had held my tongue, although the enemy could now countervail the king's damage.
No, bring that back. Everybody understand that? Read it again, Ar.
Just the last part of the whole thing.
Nah, read the whole thing.
Yes, sir. Verse 4. For we are sold, I and my people, to be destroyed, to be slain, and to perish.
So we are here to be sold, to be destroyed. She already knows. She understanding why they in captivity. Don't think she's just saying that just for whatever. Nah, she know they're in captivity for a reason. The Father put them there. You know what I'm saying? Keep going, huh?
Yes, sir. But if we had been sold for bondmen and bondwomen, I had held my tongue.
I didn't say nothing. I'm not worried about it because I know what we here for. Go ahead.
Although the enemy could not countervail the king's damage. Then,
Yeah, good.
Yes, sir. Then the king Ahasuerus answered and said unto Esther, the queen, who is he and where is he that durst presume in his heart to do so?
So she's saying my counterpart, my enemy, the enemies, are they gonna take me over? They could take me over. You know what I'm saying? But they hadn't done it yet, basically what she's saying. So she basically telling him about himself, and he don't even know it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what she finna break to him. Go ahead.
Right.
verse 6.
And he asked him where he at.
Yeah,
who
like,
gonna, who
I'ma
gonna hurt the
kill him.
queen? Yeah, there you go.
Like, I'll kill him. You just don't know my power.
Right. And Esther, verse 6. And Esther said, the adversary and enemy is this wicked Haman.
Mhm.
Then Haman was afraid before the king and the queen.
Yeah, he so what talking about Hammond, my bad. Excuse me,
Right,
because
because-
5 minutes on that one.
Right, because he didn't know that she was a Jew. And she going to tell the king that, man, you didn't sold my people. Because remember, the decree was written over 10,000 talents of silver. You sold my people to be destroyed. That's what she's telling the king. And she's saying, who did it? Haman did it. So let's pick it up. Verse 7, yes, sir.
Hold on, excuse me.
Go ahead.
Didn't Haman take his ring and do that?
The king gave Haman his ring the
Yeah.
right to make the decree.
Okay. I knew.
Yeah. After Haman had made sure to brought the money, then he gave him the ring. That's how I was telling y'all earlier. In order to write laws back in the day, you didn't have a Senate and a House of Representatives, all this crap. The king would give the person that he allowed to write this law his ring, and then you would put the wax on the bottom of the paper. That's the law, and you stamp it. And once it's stamped with the king's signet, it's a law.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, that's why you have to get the ring. That's why they always talk about the ring, because that's how you would know the king actually said it. That's the only way to verify it. That was their way of
It's like a
verification.
signature.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a signature.
Yeah, because you got the king's
Yeah,
signet. Right. So here we go. You want me to keep going?
Yeah, keep going.
All
All
right.
right, verse 7.
Yes, sir. Verse 7. And the king arriving from the banquet of wine in his wrath
Mhm.
went into the palace garden,
Mhm.
and Haman stood up to make requests for his life to Esther the queen.
So he done stood up and he begging Esther to save his life. Please don't kill me. I didn't know this was your people. I wouldn't have did it if I knew it was your people. I wouldn't have did it. Yeah, you know how they go do. They say anything, you know what I'm saying? I'll kiss your feet if you don't kill me and stuff. Go ahead. All right.
He knew he was in trouble when the king jumped up, pissed off, and walked out.
Straight up.
He knew it was over for him. Right? Okay.
Before he saw, verse 7, before he saw that there was evil.
I'm gonna start over.
All right,
Okay,
start off. Yeah, start
read the whole
all over, bro.
Verse 7, and the king arriving from the banquet of wine in his wrath went into the palace garden, and Haman stood up to make request for his life to Esther the queen, for he saw that there was evil determined against him by the king.
What y'all mean? How y'all think he did that? How y'all think he determined that there was evil against him from the king? He knew it.
Body
But
language.
y'all don't think some kind of body language showed him that?
He probably cut
Yeah,
it with
that's
the
what I was
eyes,
trying to say.
like, oh,
Yeah, he cut it with them eyes. That's basically what I think. Like, nigga,
That's the eye.
Can you
you
imagine
trying
that?
to take care of my wife?
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, and her. And
You
her
find
people.
out,
And I love her.
Man, hold up.
and then
man.
look at the way he found out. My wife come tell me that somebody trying to kill her. And then well, I'm like, who trying to kill you? Oh, him. You know what's about to happen to this guy.
Yeah.
Right. It don't
And
matter
then
who
you
he
try to
is.
use me to do it.
Hey.
You slick little thing, man. Let me
Right.
go walk this off
So
right quick.
he tricked the king to do that.
That basically,
Make
that's what he
make
did.
That's because her cousin wouldn't reverence him.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
too.
And he
that's why
wanted to kill
did
all
it.
the people.
And he wanted to kill them all because
Right.
her cousin wouldn't reverence him.
Wouldn't bow down to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hammond wouldn't bow down. I mean,
Mordecai
wouldn't
would
bow
bow
down.
Mordecai would
Yeah.
bow down to him. So Haman really made the king be slick with the king and had him to write up a decree.
Yeah.
Right. And he stamped it with
And
the
he
king's
stamped it with
ring.
the king ring.
Right. Verse 8, you ready?
Yeah, pick it up, huh?
Yes, sir. Then we at verse 8, family. Then the king returned out of the palace garden into the place of the banquet of wine,
Mhm.
and Haman was falling upon the bed whereon Esther was.
So y'all come back in. You in my wife's bed with her.
Why are you sitting on my
Why you
wife's
sitting
bed?
on my wife's bed? Why? What is you even touching her bed for, man? I don't care what you doing. I don't care if you plead for your. Don't nobody want to walk in no other man on his wife's bed, bro.
Look what
I don't care if they cool. You know, hey man, what you doing? Man, it's probably popping, man. Go ahead, Art.
Yes, sir. Then I'm gonna start over. Here we go. Then the king returned out of the palace garden into the place of the banquet of wine, and Haman was falling upon the bed whereon Esther was. Then said the king, will he force the queen also before me in this house?
So he's telling you. So you gonna try to take my wife's stuff? He mad already. He done walked out.
Yeah,
right?
you know, he's back.
So he coming back in. He probably was calming himself down. Then I when he come, nigga, you gonna try to take my woman in my house too? Man, I'm finna, excuse me for using the N-word, y'all. I'm sorry. But you know what I mean? That's how I'm saying. I'm trying to give y'all an example. So you mean to tell me you gonna try to take my woman in my own house too? Keep going out.
As the word went out of the king's mouth, they covered Haman's face.
Sure, they had to get him up out of there.
They knew what was going to
They
happen.
already knew what was gonna happen, man. They had to get him up out of there right then and there. Keep going out.
Yes. Verse 9. And Harbonah, one of the chamberlains, said before the king, behold, also the gallows, the ones that's 50 cubits high.
They stitching on him. Like, hey, king, look at the one you got right there. Look, he done made some gallows for people too. What is he doing? They stitching on him. Go keep going.
Yes. And Harbonah, one of the chamberlains, said before the king, behold, also the gallows, 50 cubits high, which Haman had made for Mordecai, who had spoken good for the king, standing in the house of Haman. Then the king said, hang him thereon.
Yeah,
Can I say something now?
Go ahead.
I also want to say, this guy right here, it's like, I bet he understood that, like in a situation where the king mad like that, in a situation like that, he probably like, I'm about to tell what I know too. Because if the king found out, so you knew them gallows before? You know, and he like, nah, I'm going to tell on them. Yeah, them gallows out there, he made them for the Jews. They at his house. So the king say, hey, yeah, it's called, yeah. He let him, he was coming saving himself.
But he just let him know. You know what's crazy though? That the king, not saying what the king should have done, because I can't say what, you know, because the scriptures tell you shouldn't say.
Yeah, go ahead.
But he should have really looked at his whole staff for a while.
Like all y'all doing. Yeah.
Round this up. Get the Jews to hang them. You know what I mean? Maybe your brothers and cousins. There's a bunch of y'all out there.
And then the king say, hang him thereon. I wonder if he was wondering how he was gonna kill him. Oh, for real? The gallows?
He probably wanted, man, I wonder what I'm gonna do with it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Save me some thoughts. Hang him on there.
So
what he got? What?
We're gonna talk about it. Finish the last verse for me.
Verse 10. Verse 10. So they hang Haman on the gallows that he had prepared for Mordecai. Then was the king's wrath pacified.
So he calmed himself down after that. After he seen them die, he said, all right, I'm good. You know, yeah, I'm satisfied.
So we're moving on to chapter 8, everybody.
Yeah.
Esther chapter 8.
Yeah,
you already know. We got this rat over there. Esther chapter 8. Remember, you dig one ditch, might as well dig how many? Two. Haman found out the hard way. Esther chapter 8, are you ready from the beginning?
Yes, sir. You can go.
Salaam, y'all ready? Y'all ready? Oh, praise. Y'all so beautiful.
Yeah, y'all is.
On that day, did King Ahasuerus give the house of Haman, the Jews' enemy, unto Esther the queen. And Mordecai came before the king, for Esther had told what he was unto her.
So now y'all understand what done happened now. Now he done got Haman, he didn't kill Haman. So he turned to his wife and he say, nah, whatever you feel like you want to do to these people, do as you please. You know, I'm not, my hands washed with it. You, my wife, I apologize. He probably apologized for me tripping out. Go ahead, do as you please. And what she do? The first person she called, Mordecai. I got the green light. Let's get it in. You know what I'm saying? Basically what that was. Yeah, come in, Kip out. I green light up there. When it's up, it's stuck. Let's go. You know what I'm saying?
You ready?
Go ahead.
Verse 2. And the king took off his ring, which he had taken from Haman, and gave it unto Mordecai. And Esther set Mordecai over the house of Haman.
So now y'all see what we were saying earlier. Remember, we were just talking about that. we say, man, Mordecai, he probably give Mordecai the top seat. That's just what he did. Here, man, take my ring. You do what you want to do now, since they want to try to kill you and you save my life. I'm putting you on top of all these people. Let's ride. Go ahead, bro.
Yes, sir. And verse 3, Esther spake yet again before the king, and fell down at his feet, and besought him with tears to put away the mischief of Haman the Agagite, and his device that he had devised against the Jews. And the king held out the golden scepter towards Esther. So Esther arose and stood before the king, and said, if it please the king, and if I have found favor in his sight, and the thing seem right before the king, and I be pleasing in his eyes, let it be written to reverse the letters devised by Haman, the son of Hamath the Agagite, which he wrote to destroy the Jews, which are in all the king's provinces.
So what did Haman get signed and sealed on the Jews, against the Jews? What the people was gonna do to Jews when they seen them? Kill them, right? So if he get that reverse, then who gonna be getting the killing now? Who is he? Haman gone. So now who all gonna get it?
The Agagites.
The Agagites. Yeah, all the other people finna get it now. So now what y'all was finna do to us, while y'all picking up y'all pitchforks and all that stuff like that, coming to seek us out. Now we finna change that up. We gonna meet you halfway, and you know, once we come, you know, because we got the Father with us. Let's ride out.
Yes, sir. We are at verse 6. We are at Esther chapter 8, verse 6. For how can I endure to see the evil that shall come unto my people? Or how can I endure to see the destruction of my kindred?
So give it to me to reverse it. I can't watch my people die. I'm not gonna be. I'm not. Basically, what she's telling him, man, I bet you he understand that. You let all my people die and all my kindred die. How am I gonna be any good to you? I'm gonna be sitting here crying, weeping, mourning all the time and stuff like that. I'm not gonna be no good to you. He thought about it. You know what? You sure right.
He ain't gonna be at peace.
Yeah, he ain't not gonna be at peace. You know what I'm saying? So he had to think about that too. Keep going out.
Yes, sir. Verse 7. And then the king Azarias said unto Esther the queen, and to Mordecai the Jew, behold, I have given Esther the house of Haman, and him they have hanged upon the gallows, because he laid his hand upon the Jews. Write ye also for the Jews, as it liketh you, in the king's name, and seal it with the king's ring. For the writing which is written in the king's name and sealed with the king's ring, may no man reverse.
So he telling them, basically, yeah, I already gave you Hammond. Ain't no point in me not giving you them. So go and reverse the code, sign it with my key. I mean, my ring. They can't even reverse it back.
Not only that,
that's it.
He told him, man, do what you want to with it. You can write what you want to on it.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, see, to him, Hammond more than likely wasn't a Persian anyway. So he was probably letting another country of people that he had under his reign get close to him. So he didn't care about them people.
So you read the beginning of 8 again?
What you mean, the first verse?
Yeah, like the 8, no. Like
verse 8?
Verse 8, yeah.
Write ye also for the Jews as it liketh you, in the king's name, and seal it with the king's ring. For the writing which is written in the king's name and sealed with the king's ring, may no man reverse.
So he told me, do what you want to with it.
Yeah, oh yeah. Ready me to keep going?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Verse 9. Then were the king's scribes called at that time, in the 3rd month, that is the month Sivan, on the 23rd day thereof, as it is written, according to all that Mordecai commanded unto the Jews and to the lieutenants and the deputies and rulers of the provinces which are from India to Ethiopia.
So y'all see what happened, huh? Y'all remember who gave the commandments to all them at first? Hammond.
Yeah, Hammond.
Remember, Hammond went to the lieutenants and to the officers first and told them to go kill the Jews.
He sent letters.
Yeah, he sent letters. Now Mordecai telling the same people. You know what I'm saying? He gonna kill these people. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get it in. Come on, let's go.
All right.
I know the hillman was like, wait a minute.
And 100. Okay. I'm gonna start over at 9. Read all the way through.
You was
Then,
right. Okay, go ahead.
yeah, I'm gonna just pick it up.
You told the Jews that too.
Then were the king's scribes at that time in the 3rd month of that is the month Sivan. On the 3 and 20th day thereof, it was written according to all that Mordecai commanded unto the Jews and to the lieutenants and the deputies and the rulers of the provinces, which are from India unto Ethiopia, 127 provinces, into every province according to the writing thereof, and unto every people after their language, and to the Jews according to their writing and according to their language. And he wrote in the king Azariah's name and sealed it with the king's ring and sent letters by post office. On horseback, on horseback, and riders on mules, camels, and young dromedaries.
So at this time, he's doing the same thing Haman was doing to us. When we was all in all these 120 provinces, countries, whatever you want to call them, and then we was all crying and mourning and stuff like that. He doing the same thing. Now he's sending his letter out. We gonna kill y'all. So we gonna see what they do. Keep it going.
Thanks for what a dromedary is.
What's a dromedary?
What's a young, huh? An elephant?
That's a good guess. Look it up. Google it.
What's a dromedary? Young dromedary. I just want to let y'all know they getting, see, when Haman did it, they sent the letters out. When Mordecai did it, look at all these ways. They're right there. We call that today 2-day delivery. We got to get these letters out here now.
Overnight. That was the first time.
Yeah, there you go, prime shipping. We got to get them out there now.
Anybody looked up dromedaries for me? Pete, what P at? What about dictionary? Pete, what you doing, bro?
What's dromedary?
Dromedaries, baby. Let's get it.
Okay, sis right here answered. She said a camel. It is. It's a young camel.
A camel. Good shot, sis.
Right.
Shalom.
Shalom, sis. She sent it through the chat. A camel.
A
young
camel, everybody.
So not only the old camels had the hump, the young camels got to get it too. However, you got to get this word out. I need it to go out now.
Okay. A dromedary is
A young camel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I asked this. Because in verse 10 it say camels and young camels. Yeah, young camels. All praise. Thank you, sis.
Everybody.
What we at? Oh, we at verse 10. No,
Shalom.
verse 11.
Yeah. She say shalom. Her family say shalom.
All right, shalom, sis, shalom. All right, we in verse 11, y'all.
Verse 11. Wherein the king granted the Jews, which were in every city.
Hold up, bring out that chapter and stuff again.
Oh, I'm sorry. We are in Esther chapter 8, and we are at verse 11.
Esther chapter 8, verse 11.
Everybody ready? All right, let's get it. Wherein the king granted the Jews, which were in every city, to gather themselves together and to stand for their life, and to destroy, to slay, and to cause to perish all the power of the people and province that would assault them, both little ones, women, and to take the spoil of them for a prey.
I don't want to keep stopping it, but everything they try to do to us, they turned it around and put it back on them. Now we're gonna kill y'all little ones. We're gonna kill y'all women and stuff like that, and y'all women and stuff like that. Keep it going. Keep going, huh?
All praise and take they spoil.
We're gonna take y'all spoil.
And for a prey.
And for a prey.
A point.
You know that's right. Yes, man. Yes.
Verse 12.
I pray for the gospel too.
The gospel.
Verse 12.
Salvation. The gospel is salvation.
It is salvation. Taking spoil from people is salvation.
Salvation.
So it's a part of it.
Nothing
Verse
better than
12.
a man seeing the follow his oppressors.
Verse 12.
Go ahead.
Upon one day in all the provinces of King Ahasuerus, namely upon the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month of Adar, the copy of the writing for a commandment to be given in every province was published unto all people. and that the Jews should be ready against that day to avenge themselves on their enemies.
Oh, so y'all see what's going on. He getting them ready. He said, hey. I'm finna send out these letters. I'm sending all you this out. This ain't nothing to tell y'all to chill out or nothing. This to tell y'all to get ready because we gonna get them now. Straight up. We finna march. We finna ride out.
Hey, yeah. All praise to the Most High. That's a beautiful thing. Verse 14. Thank you. So the post that rode upon mules and camels went out, being hasting and pressed on by the king's commandment. And the decree was given at Shushan the palace. And Mordecai went out from the presence of the king in royal apparel of blue and white, and with a great crown of gold. What? And with a garment of fine linen and purple. And the city of Shushan rejoiced and was glad. Verse 16. The Jews had light and gladness and joy and honor, and in every province and in every city, whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, the Jews had joy and gladness, a feast and a good day. Many of the people of the land became Jews, for the fear of the Jews fell upon them.
So hold up. So what y'all mean?
Let me ask you something. Do you mean to tell me they start saying we Jews too?
Nah, they just
Nah, they didn't say they were Jews.
They didn't
That's
say they
not
were
what they
Jews.
saying.
Oh,
They didn't become properly, meaning that just like when we left out of Egypt, heathens came with us. They believed on our God.
Yeah.
We have commandments. Yeah, we have commandments that they would have to follow. So they just started, just like in the situation with Nebuchadnezzar, when they wouldn't bow down, and then when they threw them in the furnace, when they came out, the king was like, "What? We gonna follow their God."
Israel.
We see the power on them.
See, look, it's like this. Let me ask you something. Like, remember in the time of Maccabees, when anybody professed to call themselves a Jew would be killed.
Right.
Anybody, they probably like, nah, we gonna call ourselves Jews. We don't want to die. You see what I'm saying? That's probably what they was doing.
But we don't.
We Jew.
I know we trip out sometimes when we go against our.
Killing people they wasn't Jews. Excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead.
They were killing all the people that wasn't Jews. They were killing all the other people. So they started saying, "Hey, we Jews too," just so they wouldn't be killed.
Esther chapter 9.
See, but y'all gotta understand before we move to chapter 9.
Yes,
y'all gotta understand it's not a bad thing though, because really in the end times this is gonna be happening anyway. These people gonna have to cleave. They gonna have to follow our God anyhow. You know what I'm saying? They want them to anyway. So they're gonna be changing over their stuff. They're gonna be keeping the Sabbath. They're gonna be doing these things with us anyhow. Well, they trying. They not really doing it now. It ain't gonna be none of that straddling the fence type junk that they doing right now. They ain't gonna
act like they is right now.
Yeah.
Try to stay alive.
But it ain't gonna be none of that straddling the fence.
It's gonna be the real.
Yeah, it's gonna be the real deal. You're gonna be keeping the real. Yeah, it ain't gonna be none of that. You keep the Sabbath sometimes, and then you go and celebrate Christmas, or you keep the Sabbath, but you still celebrate Easter.
But it ain't gonna be none of that. We Jews too. None of that crap. Nah, y'all the Jews. We want to cleave to y'all. Yeah. That's how it's gonna be. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Right. So yeah, they gonna know. People. Yeah. They're gonna know. It ain't gonna be none of that. Oh, like you got this white. I forgot this. I don't even like to call them rabbis because they couldn't teach me nothing. But this one guy, he come out. He was a white rabbi. He Jewish. He white. No. This guy come out and say, no, the black people are the Jews. They the real Jews. But then he come out and say, the Jewish people, we Jews too. Like, nah, it ain't gonna be none of that. It ain't gonna be none of that,
I know
man.
you talking about the dude that be up in the little church, in his little synagogue.
He Jewish. Yeah. He want to say at the beginning of the video, he want to say, yeah, that the Negroes, they the chosen people, or whatever. Then he come and say, but the Jewish people too. You know, we can't see y'all. No, you're not. I'm not even claiming y'all. Y'all not kin of us. Y'all ready? You ready for chapter 9 now?
Yeah, let's go.
Everybody ready?
All right. Esther chapter 9, verse 1, y'all. We almost to the point. We almost to where we getting there. Excuse us, y'all. Esther chapter 9, verse 1. Now in the 12th month, that is the month of Adar, on the 13th day of the same, when the king's commandment and his decree near to be put in execution, in the day that the enemies of the Jews hoped to have power over them, though it was turned to the contrary, that the Jews had ruled over them that hated them.
All praise to the Most High.
Mhm. Hey, at the end of it, at the end
Look.
of it, look like a smile.
Like a smile, don't it?
Right
Whoa.
here, at the end of it.
Yeah, with a wink, with a wink. All right, here we go. Verse 2, y'all ready?
With a wink, yeah.
Esther chapter 9, verse 2. The Jews gathered themselves together in their cities throughout all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus to lay hand on such as sought their hurt, and no man could withstand them, for the fear of them fell upon all people. Why y'all think that?
Terrified. Most High.
Why we didn't play those games? I don't know.
Because you gotta remember, Malachi had already put a decree out against the people.
That ain't what I was asking for.
I mean, but then that's
I was trying to just trick y'all up. That was a great answer. That's a great answer. Let's go. Let's go.
Well,
Go ahead,
I
Al.
was gonna say the Lord put the fear of Israel into the people too. He made
Yeah,
the
that's what
people.
I was saying.
Yeah,
Most
he
High.
made the people.
Most
Yeah,
High was with
he
them.
made them fear. Just like back in the day, they was just fear. Like
He
you
put that
remember
decree up out
Rahab?
of them.
Mm-hmm.
He made
You remember?
he put that decree
Yeah,
up
He did them like the Egyptians when they knew that the firstborns was finna get murdered.
there.
yeah.
After they woke up in the first
Yeah.
morning, dead.
They didn't even know they was gonna get
Yeah,
murdered.
they ain't know.
They did know.
No, not the Egyptians.
Remember when you read?
Oh
the
yeah,
story?
yeah.
You remember when when you read the story
No, they
in
didn't
Wisdom
know.
of Solomon? No, but he gave them terrors in their dreams, so
That's
they
what I
seen
was
it
talking
coming.
about.
They was dreaming about it happening before it happened.
Right.
You remember in Wisdom, I think it's Wisdom of Solomon chapter 18.
I thought he told him he gave him to why the reason why. He gave him the reason why afterwards. He gave it to him in the dream.
He showed their terrors
I know-
in the dream.
I know they woke up and then they all were dead. Y'all
But look,
firstborn
come
was
on,
dead.
Snitches
I don't
get
think that
dead,
matter.
bro. Snitches get dead. Y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
Where we at?
Bottom line.
Snitches get dead. All right, we at verse 2.
Yeah.
The Jews gathered themselves together in their cities throughout all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus to lay hand on such as sought their hurt, and no man could withstand them, for the fear of them fell upon all people. We read that. And all the rulers of the provinces and the lieutenants and the deputies and officers of the king helped the Jews, because the fear of Mordecai fell upon them.
You remember Mordecai? He done made it to that second position.
No. Verse 4. For Mordecai was great in the king's house, and his fame went out throughout all the provinces. For this man, Mordecai, waxed greater and greater.
All praise.
Thus the Jews smote all their enemies with the stroke of the sword, and slaughter and destruction, and did what they would unto those that hated them. And in Shushan, the palace, the Jews slew and destroyed 500 men. All praises, bro.
Yeah. That salvation coming down.
Verse 7, y'all. Esther chapter 9, verse 7. And Parshan Datha, and Delphon, and Aspatha, and Poretha, and Adelia, and Aritha. All right. Verse 9. And Parmashta, and Arasai, and Aradai, and Vaisatha, the 10 sons of Haman, the son of Hamadetha, the enemy of the Jews, slew they, but on the spoil laid they not their hand.
So they killed his children, his family, but they didn't take nothing from him. Their pride, we don't need nothing from them. They just wanted their life.
So you already know how we get down. We still got the spirit to, kill something, leave the right burning.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
We don't want no parts of y'all.
They just wanted to kill him. Kill him.
All right, verse 11. On that day, the number of those that were slain in Shushan, the palace, was brought before the king. And the king said unto Esther the queen, the Jews have slain and destroyed 500 men in Shushan, the palace, and the 10 sons of Haman. What have they done in the rest of the king's provinces? Now what is thy petition? And it shall be granted thee. Or what is thy request further? And it shall be done. God, he's still blessing her. Nanny, you see that, man?
I know you
God.
want more than that.
Hey, like, man, what else you want? What else you want?
He told us
Kinda like
he already told him to give
whatever-
whatever you want.
To half the kingdom.
Come.
They out there screaming and hollering. He
And
looking
half
in
of the
her eyes,
kingdom
he's
is
love.
what?
Boy, he like,
The half of the kingdom
When it's
is
up,
what,
it's up.
70, what, 60 something? What,
Come
half
on.
of the kingdom was 60 something?
6
120,
yeah,
yeah.
126 provinces. Yeah.
So he getting anything she had.
Mhm.
Right. Pick it up, out.
All right, we at verse 13, y'all. Then said Esther, if it please the king, let it be granted to the Jews which are in Shushan to do tomorrow also according unto this day decree, and let Haman's 10 sons be hanged upon the gallows.
that's what I'm talking about. Your daddy made it. Go hang out on it. Daddy.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Go hang out.
Go.
And the king
Oh.
commanded it, verse 14, y'all, something my bad. And the king commanded it so to be done. And the decree was given at Shushan. And they hanged Haman's 10 sons. I thought they had already killed him. They pick him up and hang him after that.
Put their body on it.
That's right. Overkill.
Overkill. Put their body on it.
We going in, bro.
Oh, we forgot to have who? That's his
Never
son.
forget.
Yeah.
We gonna hang him again.
Never forget. He great and terrible.
Terrible, man.
That's the most.
Straight
We just read yesterday how what was the guy name yesterday?
Who you think?
McConnell.
Nicanor.
Put that arm out there, talk about I'm a tag down.
He got cut out.
Took that arm, that shoulder, that tongue,
And a head.
and that knee.
And
And hung it up in
his tongue to the birds.
In
He
pieces.
cut it in pieces.
In pieces, though.
Yeah, he fed his tongue to the birds.
Yeah.
Watch your mouth. And y'all think that the mafia putting horses in people's bed ain't nothing. We been vicious.
Yeah, y'all think Pedro Escobar feeding people to
See, I like what the Most High do anyway. You know, Pablo and them, you know, they do it.
They wicked.
They like to stretch it out while somebody alive. Most High like you kill them, get it over with, and do what you want with his body. Type thing. You know what I mean? Like,
He don't make nobody
like ain't
suffer.
closed
Kick it
casket
up.
type thing. That
Yeah.
thing ain't having no future.
He say do what you want to.
Yeah.
All right, y'all ready?
Y'all ready?
Make 'em
Verse
say what you
15.
want to.
Verse
Come on.
15. For the Jews that were in Shushan gathered themselves together on the 14th day,
Mhm.
also of the month Adar, and slew 300 men at Shushan. But on the prey, they laid not their hand. But the other Jews that were in the king's provinces gathered themselves together and stood for their lives and had rest for their enemies. From their enemies, excuse me, and slew of their foes 70 and 5,000. But they laid not their hands on the prey.
You see?
On the 13th day of the month Adar, and on the 14th day of the same rested day, and made it a day of feasting and gladness. But the Jews that were at Shushan assembled together on the 13th day thereof, and on the 14th thereof, and on the 15th day of the same month, they rested and made it a day of fasting and gladness. Therefore, the Jews of the villages that dwelt in the unwalled towns made the 14th day of the month Adar a day of gladness and feasting, and a good day, and of sending portions one to another.
See, that's where we get this, and that's where we get the part of the gift giving from, sending portions one to another. You know, this is part of the portion.
All praise to the Most High.
All right, verse 20. And Mordecai wrote these things and sent letters unto all the Jews that were in all the provinces of King Ahasuerus, both nigh and far, to establish this among them, that they should keep the 14th day of the month Adar, and the 15th day of the same yearly, So if y'all want to, y'all can start putting in, marking in y'all books. This is Purim. This is the start of Purim.
Right.
18 and 19.
You put 19, 20, and 21 to 22.
I put 18 through 22.
You put 18 through 22. That's a good one too. 18 through 22 will be the start of Purim. That'll be when they talking about Purim, y'all. Yes, ma'am. Like, or just say Purim, man. If you ain't got to put
Yeah, I just
start
want
of it,
Purim
yeah,
on. I
Purim.
just put
Yeah,
Purim on mine.
it's 2 days.
You said two?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Purim
yeah,
is today and
Purim,
tomorrow. Today and tomorrow.
Huh?
Yeah. Purim is today and
The Hebrews just
tomorrow.
got one day.
And all they holidays
Just
stuff
one day,
is
huh?
one day. Yeah, they busters.
See, they got holiday. We got holy days.
Yeah, it's a
You
busters.
know how many we have?
Nah, but we got a lot.
It's only 12.
12 holidays,
They last a long time.
but it's a
But
yeah.
it's only 12 of them.
Yeah.
We might
Party,
have,
party.
we have,
Pick it up,
have
Bob.
one holiday.
Hold up, let's go. Let's go so we can talk like we gonna talk.
Okay, my bad.
All right, here we go, y'all. Verse 22. Everybody ready? Well, we couldn't, y'all.
Hold on, she passed it. You got your scripture, sis? No, I mean, I see I was talking. You got your scripture? Okay.
Everybody good? All right, here we go. Verse 22, y'all. We in Esther chapter 9, verse 22. As the days wherein the Jews rested from their enemies, and the month which was turned unto them from sorrow to joy, and from mourning into a good day, that they should make them days of feasting and joy, and of sending portions one to another,
Hold on.
and gifts to the poor.
I was gonna wait.
Go ahead.
You said to make peace. So
Like, it's a
Make
Sabbath,
them
so we
days
can't-
of
we-
feast.
we-
no, I know we know some feast days that end up on the Sabbath you can't cook.
Yeah, so
This
you
not
got
one
to.
Nah, the only one we was
Nah.
commanded to cook on was Passover.
Passover.
No, I'm not saying commanded to cook on. I'm saying
No, I
were
mean,
people able to cook to them? That's something I didn't know.
nah,
No,
we
It's a
didn't.
Sabbath.
That's why I told you we prepared the food, and then when the sun go down, we're gonna heat everything up. Yeah, because it was Passover.
The only reason why I asked is because I seen
fast-
make-
Yeah.
We gonna eat, but today the Sabbath, so.
No, I know that. I know.
Yeah, we're
I
not
know.
cooking. We go study, and then when the sun go down, we'll do our thing. Pick up at 23. Huh?
All right, we at verse 23.
We're
Everybody ready
almost
to say
done,
loud?
family.
And the Jews overtook to do as they had begun, and as Mordecai had written unto them, because Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, the enemy of all the Jews, had devised against the Jews to destroy them, and had cast Pur, that is, the light, to consume them and to destroy them.
So that's why it's called pearl.
What who?
Purim, yeah.
Pearl?
Purim.
Purim, the Pur.
The pearl.
They try to cast a light on us.
So
Yep.
it's the reminder of
The
why we're
remembrance.
doing what we're doing.
Y'all got that? So Purim, the Pur in Purim is light, and that's because they cast lights on us. Y'all understand? They
thought
cast
was gonna
lights on us.
destroy.
And what was the light that they cast on us?
Yeah,
Death. But how much was it?
all the whole nation.
10,000
Shekels of
talents.
talents of silver. There we go, y'all. All right, verse 25. But when Esther came before the king, he commanded by letters that his wicked device, which he had devised against the Jews, should return upon his own head, and that he and his sons should be hanged on the gallows. Oh, I didn't even know that, y'all. Y'all knew that?
What?
He told him to do it. When he was playing for his life, he told him to do it. He said, put it back on me. That's what he just said. Oh, no, that's the king. My bad.
Yeah,
Yeah, the king did that. Yeah, I'm thinking that's Haman. My bad. My bad, y'all.
Yeah.
Verse 26. Yeah.
What he wanted to do to you, that's to do
You
to
do
him.
to him, yeah.
Just like back in the day, your mama tell you, they hit you, you better hit them back.
Mhm.
Give it back to
You
them.
reap what you sow still going
Yeah,
on right
Yeah.
definitely.
All right, verse 26. Wherefore they call these days Purim.
Look,
You might as well
there go
say
your
Purim.
apple.
Purim, after the name of Per. Therefore, for all the words of this letter and of that which they had seen concerning this matter, and which had come unto them, the Jews ordained and took upon them, and upon their seed, and upon all such as joined themselves unto them, so as it should not fail that they would keep these 2 days.
Look how
According to their writing, hold up 1 second. According to their writing and according to their appointed time every year. Go ahead.
It's crazy. Like, look at how the Khazarians is over there. You know what I mean? Boom, pretty much just took our whole everything.
Mm-hmm.
And they pretty much make a mockery out of Purim
Cool.
over there. They make Purim to them is Halloween.
Yeah,
Yeah,
somebody
you
was saying that
telling us
they dressed
So
up
that
like
was he was
Halloween.
saying
where
that
do you get
yesterday.
that from? Out of here. Like,
They do that with everything, and they probably went and had a big orgy after that.
no, I'm saying like you can just read right here what they doing is wrong.
Oh.
Common
Yeah.
sense kills.
That's all they about.
It's one thing you gotta
No,
understand.
what I'm saying is what they doing is wrong.
Nah, but see, the one thing you gotta understand about the Jewish people, they don't get their understanding from the Bible like that. This is what they did. This is why when you get into it with a Jewish person, they always tell you about Rabbi such and such or this rabbi. Back in the day when they were first starting it, these older rabbis, they would read the scriptures, and then whenever they would interpret the scriptures, they would write it down. So when they come to start doing the things in the Bible, they're not doing what the Bible say. They're doing the interpretation of what the elders from the 15th century said in these letters, and they go off their Kabbalah and all that. So they're not even dealing with the Bible like that. Right. That's why a lot of them, for most of the time, they want to play these games. First of all, they're not going to believe the New Testament. They're not going to believe most of the prophets. They're going to try to stick only to the Torah. Right? But then they're not going to keep the things that, because they're not the people, they don't have no connection to it. They try to stick to the law, statute, commandments, but only their interpretation thereof, not the true law and statute that we read. That's why they be off. That's why they putting that little foil paper in the crock pot on Sabbath, thinking that they're not breaking the Sabbath, because they go off their old mind. Okay, you know how a crock pot lift up? The Jewish people say on the Sabbath, if you take your crock pot, lift it up, if you put a piece of foil paper in between the pot and the heating point, you're not breaking the Sabbath when you turn it on.
They're burning down their houses.
I'm telling you. I read it for myself. Yeah, but that's what I'm telling you. It's their interpretation of it. That's why they go from having the 7 candles to the 9 candles. They hold on to the 9. Right. It's their interpretation of these things. It's not the actual scripture. That's why they don't have a tribe. They don't have none of that. Right. Come on, y'all. Let's pick it up. Yeah.
All right, verse 28, y'all. We're in Esther chapter 9, verse 28. And that these days should be remembered and kept throughout every generation, every family, every province, and every city. And that their days of Purim should not fail from among the Jews, nor the memorial of them perish from their seed.
Throughout every generation. While I highlighting what's the difference between this holy day and, let's say, tabernacles? What's the difference?
Giving them gifts. And we give them.
Nah, I can't even get mad. I gotta let you make it.
I was about to say that.
I can't get, but it was funny, but what's the difference? What's the difference between feast of dedication, destruction of the corner, and Purim? What's the difference?
They longer.
They not longer.
No, I mean
they holy days. It's easy.
One, what's the difference?
What's the biggest difference between them?
Oh, then we just got to sleep in boots on tabernacle.
No.
Well, then what's the difference? That's what they call them, feast of boots.
No,
feast
I'm trying
boots.
to.
No. Sleep in boots.
The difference is the tabernacle. The difference is the ones that was given to us in Leviticus 23. The Most High gave us those feast days.
Oh yeah.
These right here, we do these in remembrance and to celebratory to show him and thank him for what he did for us.
For
So
bringing
these
us
are
out.
ours, but he gave us some too. But he allowed us to add these, like dedication for the destruction of and coming out of those captivities and things. He allowed us to do those.
Captivity.
Yeah, and then they set it up for it to be perpetual. We just read it. They came and said, we're gonna do this forever. He was okay with that. But the ones that's in Leviticus 23, when he talked to Moses, he said, "Now this how it's gonna be. Y'all gonna do these," but then we added to it these other ones to thank him for the things that he did for us.
Okay.
All right.
All right,
Come
verse
on.
29, y'all. Esther chapter 9, verse 29. Then Esther, the queen, the daughter of Abihail, and Mordecai the Jew, wrote with all authority to confirm this second letter of Purim. Purim.
So she doubled up on what Mordecai had said to make it exclusive. Go ahead, I'll finish the chapter.
He like purr to me.
We got one more chapter.
And he sent the letters unto all the Jews to the 127 provinces of the kingdom of Ahasuerus, with words of peace and truth, to confirm these days of Purim in their times appointed, according as Mordecai the Jew and Esther the queen had enjoyed them, and as they had decreed for themselves and for their seed, the matters of the fastings and their cry. And the decree of Esther confirmed these matters of Purim, and it was written in the book.
Okay.
Chapter 10 real quick. Let me get it real quick.
Yeah, handle it.
Chapter 10, y'all. It's just three verses. Chapter 10. And the king of Ahasuerus laid a tribute upon the land and upon the isles of the sea, and all the acts of his power and of his might, and the declaration of the greatness of Mordecai, whereunto the king advanced him, are they not written in the book of Chronicles and of the kings of Media and Persia? Excuse me. For Mordecai the Jew was next unto King Ahasuerus, and great among the Jews, and accepted of the multitude of his brethren, seeking the wealth of his people and speaking peace to all his seed.
All praise to the Most High.
Praise to the Father.
Does anybody have any questions about the story we just read?
Yes, I need us to go to the back real quick.
Man, bye. Anybody have any questions? We ain't starting over. And we gotta start over with this man been sitting here the whole time. We did something wrong.
You know, I couldn't.
Yeah. I'll take care of you later. All right.
We're doing the conference call.
All right.
We're gonna do a conference call.
We're gonna do the